Howdy folks, it's finally time to open this big box. This is the Dynam F4U Corsair from gearbest.com, so thanks very much gearbest.com for sending this for the review. I'm very excited about this one.
So let's have a look in the box, and it's all very nicely packed, and Stormy the cat always enjoys having a look at a new box. That one made him sneeze. Now I've never flown a World War II warbird, so this is going to be fun. I'm a little bit nervous about it though. You get a spare prop, all the bits and pieces you need to put it together. It's a very simple build. Canopy and a little pilot as well, which is great. And it has a very generous canopy too, which gives you good access to the internals.
Now looking at the manual, we have instructions for a transmitter, which I don't have. Manual of the speed controller, that's useful to work out programming, and the actual build manual itself. And these are the instructions here basically. CG 85 to 90 millimeters.
First job is to fit all the control horns, and the aileron control horns were actually fitted, but they weren't done up tight, so just make sure you tighten up those screws. Now fitting the rudder control horns, and these are the good quality Dynam control horns, very sturdy, well designed. Same on the elevator, and there's one control horn on each side of the elevator. There are little LEDs on each wingtip, but the wires don't have a connector, so you'll need to solder on your own connector. So I'm taking a servo lead, remove the signal wire, and just soldering that on so that I can plug it in and power the LEDs. Now I need to glue the wings together, so I'm just taping the servo wires out of the way so they don't get caught up in the glue. Wires for retracts and ailerons and LED there. And I've decided I'm just going to use hot glue for this to make it quick and easy. The kit didn't come with any glue, and I'm using hot glue because this is a bit of an awkward join. It doesn't sit flat, so you need to use a glue that will set quickly while you're holding it in position, and hot glue is the perfect choice for that. The wing joint is spanned by these little plastic inserts as well, and there's screws that go through these, or bolts that go through these into the fuselage to hold the wing on. Some people have added little spars across the join, which I'll assess it and may do that later on. Now gluing the rudder or the vertical stabilizer onto the horizontal stabilizer, more hot glue. They all fit together very nicely, they're sort of keyed into position. Gluing our little pilot in. And a few dobs of hot glue to put the canopy on. Now I'm gluing the tail assembly onto the fuselage, and that's all well keyed. Lots of gluing surface, nice design. Now I'm checking the centering of the servos, and I found that the rudder servo needed adjustment. That was a little bit off center. Now I can connect up the rudder push rod and give it a wiggle, which is always fun. And inserting the tail wheel, which is held in position by a little hex grub screw. And the tail wheel has its own individual push rod, which is adjustable, also connected to the rudder servo. And giving that a wiggle as well, looking good. Now for the elevator push rods, and there's two of them, one for each side. And these are the bolts that hold the tail on, and there's a shorter one and a longer one. I'm not too sure which one goes where. They both seem to fit. This little piece of inline electronics fits into the ESC servo lead. I didn't know what the purpose was, but after checking the RC Group's thread, apparently it's a signal booster, and it's designed to prevent the motor stuttering at low throttle values, which happens on 4S with the provided ESC. As usual, I changed the Dean's connectors to XT60, and to make that easier you can pull the ESC out through the front of the fuselage, and it's a Detram 50 amp ESC. Now I'm getting ready to attach the wing, and I found I had to enlarge that little hole for all the wing servo leads to pass through into the fuselage. Just had to cut out a little bit more foam so I could get everything through. And now I can turn it over and bolt the wing in position. 4 bolts go in there. Longer ones or shorter ones, they all seem to fit. And that's starting to look like a plane. Very nice indeed. So it's time to fire it up, bring it to life, plug in the receiver, play with the retracts. That's the first time I've ever played with the retracts. They're pretty cool. You can see how that little lever there does the rotating. LED lights on the wingtips, which will be pretty useless. You won't be able to see them in daylight. Gluing the little antenna in and checking all my throws, and they're all good. And give the motor a rev up. Now I'm calibrating the ESC with the 4S battery, getting all the right beeps. And it's time to put the prop on. Feel the thrust and see how much current it draws at maximum throttle. And this is interesting, at low throttle it has this pulsing effect. I don't know if that's that little piece of electronics or what it is. Maximum current was about 30 amps. So that's all looking good. Now time for a bit of a quick decal action. Has a great set of decals, these look fantastic I think. And there it is, the Dynam F4U Corsair, all ready for a maiden, and that's one handsome looking plane. And check out the description for the GearBest purchase link. Thanks for watching.